Hey there YouTube, it's Hex again. I'm back with another video. You guys are on a tripod here, so I can actually use my hands because what I'm about to do is I'm going to make a floor sweep for you. This is something that I do probably not often enough. We cleanse and reset our house when we clean and whatnot every time that we clean, so it's quite often. But I do a floor sweep when I feel like I really need to get in there and just eliminate any residual energy, any buildup of anything. And Chris and I have had quite a busy last month or so, and things have been just crazy, and we're having trouble winding down when we get home as well. And we're just exhausted even more when we get home. So that's a sign for me that with everything we have going on, the shop being so busy, that there's probably a little bit of residual energy that just saging and Palo Santo and tobacco water and the things that we're going to show you when we do reset our house and cleanse the house aren't fully taken care of. There's still some probably lingering behind. And so a floor sweep is a really good way to do that. Our entire kitchen is linoleum. So you can actually sprinkle this on your carpet, and then you'll sprinkle it onto the floor before you sweep or vacuum, and then you'll kind of let it sit, and you'll say more prayers and let the herbs and powders do their work, and that way it can kind of break up that residual energy, and that way when you vacuum it up and you sweep it up, it's almost trapping those energies into the herbs, almost like a net, and you're sweeping it away with that. At least that's how it was explained to me when I first was taught how to make a floor sweep, and that's how it makes sense, I think, for a lot of people. There's a lot more that goes into it than that, but that's like the basic understanding, just so you have an idea of why we would use like a floor sweep. You can use a floor sweep in a few different ways. I've actually known people to put a palm full of their own floor sweep that they make in big batches, and put it in their mop water and mop with that. I'm actually going to make another video today because I'm going to be doing that as well. After I sleep, I'm then going to mop our kitchen. And I want to show you how I use some different herbs and a little trick that I use to make a spiritual bath essentially for my home, which would be called a floor wash. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. So the base for my floor wash is coffee. I have a little thing of coffee here. I like coffee. Granulated coffee is fine. I try not to use coffee beans because I want to spread it like powder, and I like to get into that and really put my intention into it. Coffee brings great energy. It can bring quite a few different aspects of energy to a lot of your workings, but I love it because, what do we drink coffee for? The caffeine. It helps us focus. It'll bring a focused energy to the floor wash if you tell it to. So my purpose for this floor wash is to cleanse and restore a peaceful, balanced, focused energy to the home. And also remove negative energy. Especially since we operate a business out of our home as well, I try to keep it as cleansed as possible. So as you guys notice, what I'm actually doing, because I'm drawing in, I'm going clockwise. So as I'm feeling the energy of the coffee and really putting my intention into it, I'm moving in a clockwise motion because we want to draw that energy in. And then once I feel like I've gotten what I need out of the coffee, oh my god, you guys, it smells so good. It's actually going to make me make a pot of coffee. Because I'm feeling a little run down today, which is why I was like, no more, we need to take care of this. Chris is at work right now. I'm actually on vacation from my day job this week, so there's going to be a lot of stuff happening, and I wanted to do this because I have a few more orders to fill and ship out this afternoon. And I wanted to make sure that before I finish charging and making the last couple products for these orders, that the house is cleansed and refreshed. So it's super important, you guys. If your space is very chaotic and not necessarily dirty, but has a lot of stuff happening and it hasn't been cleaned or dusted in a while, that can actually affect your work as well because it's affecting your mind. The next ingredient that we're going to use is lemongrass. If you guys don't have lemongrass herb, you can use lemongrass essential oil. You just need a couple drops and you want to well mix it. I'm going to put about a palm full of lemongrass. I like to get dried lemongrass. It's in a few of our formulas. I'm going in a counterclockwise motion with the lemongrass as I'm mixing it in. And the reason being is lemongrass is used as a cut and clear herb. It's removing negative influence from the home. It's cutting away all of the residual energies or negative influences that have kind of attached themselves over the course of the last month or so, and just kind of helps to rebalance everything. Okay, so my lemongrass is in. Next up, rosemary. Rosemary does a few things. Rosemary for me is a very powerful herb. It's a very protective herb and a very cleansing herb. So rosemary is used medicinally in a lot of tinctures as an antibiotic and antiviral, antifungal. So if we're talking about the magical uses and you're using the doctrine of signatures, which is something I firmly believe in. If you haven't taken a look at the doctrine of signatures, I highly recommend you take a look at that because it really will give you a better understanding of herbs and how you can use them magically and medicinally. Rosemary is very cleansing and it's used to kill bacteria and to inhibit the growth of other negative cultures in the body per se. So I like in my spell work to draw in a protective field using the energy of rosemary. It's also a very grounding herb. If we're talking about the smell of rosemary, I like to use quite a bit in my floor sweep. If we're talking about the grounding energy of rosemary and the smell, it smells very earthy, very herbal. And that's also a symbol of it being grounding. So it helps to ground the energies that I'm putting into this floor wash into my home. And then protects almost like a shield per se for not getting those energies back in here until the energy of this fades. Okay, next up we have ground sage. Now, here you see I have a little bottle. I pre-grind some sage. I try to keep it on hand ground if I can for this situation, and a few other ingredients or formulas that we use ground sage in. I like quite a bit of ground sage. Again, this is just for cleansing and protection. So I'm going to go clockwise here because I'm using that to bring in an aura of peace and cleanliness. There we go. Really get it in a mix. Guys, this smells so incredible. I really wish that you could smell it. For myself and Chris personally as well, scent is a very big part of our craft. The smell for me, I can't really get into state without some kind of scent. So I love incense. I always have incense burning or a candle of some kind burning. Essential oils. I'm always covered in essential oils. If you guys smell me, you'll probably tell me I smell like a witchy spa because I'm always covered in essential oils. So scent for me is very important because it helps to focus my mind on our intention. So we have ground sage, rosemary, we have coffee, and we have lemongrass so far. Next up, I have lavender flowers. These are whole lavender flowers. I'm going to do one good palmful of that to draw in a calm, peaceful energy to the home. Especially since we have a 4-year-old. She's actually going to be 5 soon. She's been very high energy the last month, and Chris and I have not had the energy to keep up with her with everything that we've been doing and all of the orders that we've had. And thank you guys so much, by the way, for supporting us at the Mysterious Spirit. That means so much. But it has definitely been a busy month between our day jobs that we work full time and then the shop plus a toddler and anything else that we've been dealing with. So we want to make sure we bring in a calm, peaceful environment to the home. There we go. Really just mix that in. I think the important part, you guys, is I think a lot of people are scared to get in and get dirty. Look at my hands. They're dirty, covered in coffee and herbs. And that's okay. It's okay to get in and get dirty. That's part of the work. That's why you'll hear us talk about root work. And root work is not just you simply light a candle, throw a couple herbs on there, and walk away from it. No, no. You have to put work and time and intention into it, and then spirit will answer back. It's like pursuing a job. You're not going to find a job by just sending out a couple applications. Usually, I should say usually, you're not going to find a job just submitting a couple applications or dropping off a resume if you don't follow up with it. And that's essentially what this is. Okay. Then we have that. Next up, one of my favorite things ever is cinnamon. Cinnamon, I'm using ground cinnamon. I have a big jar of pre-ground cinnamon that I keep for stuff like this. Cinnamon, again, does a few different things. Cinnamon is a very protective herb. It is also a type of catalyst. Cinnamon creates energy. It's a spicy herb, so it'll create a heat and almost light a fire under the energy to get it swiftly moving, but in a soft and sweet way. Whereas it's a little more controllable than something like clove or something like clove would be quite an impactful boom. So I like to add the cinnamon, and cinnamon's also used for money. I want to keep money in my home. I want to protect my finances. I want to protect my property, which has money tied into it. So that's also why I go ahead and add in cinnamon. And we're just going to go ahead and keep mixing. There we go. And we have one final step for the floor sweep. A lot of people will tell me that this is like overkill. I don't believe it, but you know, to each their own. Whatever you believe is what you believe. Let me grab one thing real quick because I actually forgot it. It's right here. We're gonna add bay leaf, but I don't want to just add regular bay leaf. I actually want to add bay leaf ash. I'm actually going to burn the bay leaves and make them into a powder by lighting them on fire. And the reason I do that is I want that energy really, really incorporated into the sleep so that it covers the entire area of the floor. And bay leaves are large, so it's really hard to kind of grind them down. And I like the energy of this better. It's also going to start cleansing the home as I'm burning it. If you guys have ever burned bay leaf, you will definitely know exactly what it is that I'm talking about. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and burn some bay leaves. I have a sensor here in front of me that I use for collecting ash. So I'm going to slide this over. And I have a lighter here. And we're going to go ahead and just ignite some bay leaf. And just let it burn down. There we go. And they don't have to be completely burned down. But I like to get them as ashed as possible, per se. There we go. You guys, it smells so good. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this, and then I will come back and we will show you the next step, okay? All right, guys, we are back. As you can see, we have some little tiny bits remaining from some of the bay leaves that didn't burn completely, which is fine, but you can see the ash in there. So we're going to go ahead and just incorporate that. Bay leaf is great for success, for money, for cleansing, balancing. Bay leaf is used for quite a few things, and it's one of the main ingredients in a lot of my Crown of Success formulas. Among other things, it works in conjunction with some of the other herbs to really do what it's supposed to do. But you can always just keep a bay leaf in your wallet if you wanted to hold on to money and to be successful. That's an old hoodoo trick. So we're going to go ahead and just incorporate that into there. All right, that feels good. So the next step is to add your prayers to finalize the floor sweep. And so what I mean by that is not only am I praying in my mind and I'm feeling out this floor wash as I make it, but I'm also going to do a final prayer to my spirits and my guides and my ancestors to to allow this work to do what it's going to do. So I'm actually going to use a little like lavender chime candle, and what I'll do is actually create a bit of a well here, and then I will I'm going to do this all off camera because I'm going to finish up all of this off camera, but I just wanted to show you guys. But I will essentially then take the candle, put it in the bowl, say my prayers, let it burn down, and let the prayer finish. And then once that is completed, then the floor wash is ready to use. This is just how I do it. Obviously, everybody's going to have a different way of doing that. You can add really whatever herbs and energies you guys want to your floor washes. I think that's the point of it. It kind of depends on what you want to do, but you need to think strategically about what you want and how you want to have things removed from your home. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys, and until next time, I will talk to all of you soon. Blessed be.